Welcome back to Stationeers. All right. Well, the thermostat situation in here, which I would show you if I remembered to pick up the atmosphere thing, which I left outside. The thermostat thing is finally working. It took me an embarrassingly long time of going back and forth, double checking this and that and the other and so on, and finally figuring out what the problem was. You see, the problem had to do with the select chip up there, and I even reorganized and rearranged all this stuff to more closely or exactly match the picture from the Steam guide I was going by. The problem came here with the select unit. Nothing in the thing that I read, that I saw, certainly the graphic that showed what was where and what everything referred to, nothing said anything about the select unit. So I didn't know what to make it refer to. And finally, I found a reference that said that it needed to refer to the compare unit, not the actual logic reader or the temperature or anything else. And I finally got that straightened around, and it's working, which is great. Now, there is another issue. Battery is down to 3 bars, and it has been going lower than that because of all the time I've spent with that cooler unit. Yeah, so I figured it's time for another 4 solar panels and a secondary kit battery. So let's see. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, I want the one that's got... Yeah, this is the one. I want the power on this side, the data on the other. Come on. Jeez. There. Now I need the glass sheets. And I don't remember if that's all there is to getting those things ready to work. Apparently it is. Of course, let's see. I need to rotate 90 degrees. Not that side. Rotate to horizontal 90. And then I need to hook up the data side, a cable along there, so that they can all track vertically. All right. That should just be a matter I'll hook this up. Cable junctions at each panel. And then a straight cable for the rest of it. And gee, don't you love this weird little stuttering thing that goes on here? A stuttery lag thing. I know what it is. I've read enough on the forum to know that it's got to do with garbage collection in software. And it's probably not necessarily going to get optimized out anytime too soon, but it can get mighty annoying. All right. Oops, I missed one with the glass. There. All right, that'll get that battery charging up pretty quickly. Put this away. Cable. Cutter. Let's make this a 4-way. And then actually just a corner, right? Well, how about if I actually...
Filter low.
Oh, shut up with the filter low. One of these days I'm going to have to get something together to recycle all those dead filters. Alright, meanwhile, stationary battery. Okay, and I want the 2 connections out in the front. The lone connection back here. And I'm not going to turn this one on until that one reaches full charge. Okay, now I can put away the heavy cable for now. Break that. There. Get off of that. All right. Now, this will ensure there is enough power for stuff going on. Because with all that running a cooler and whatnot, this thing has taken a beating, and the 3 solar panels were really hard put to keep up with it all. But adding 4 more, 7 solar panels and 2 batteries, that's going to be enough to keep the power going throughout the night, regardless of what I'm doing with what I've got here. At least ways it should be. Meanwhile, over here, the plans are to set up, well, a pressure regulator and a tank fill for the water and oxygen, so that I will be able to do refills of various things. And I also need to run a pipe from here over to the input line on the filter system. Let's see. Okay, that's not what I need it to be. That needs to be oh, yeah, let me guess. Wrong tool to take apart. Alright, I need the back pressure regulator. And it needs to flow that way. Yeah, there we go. Alright, C for smaller increments. I'm going to run this back pressure up to 99 kPa. There. And then it's just a matter of hooking up piping and a power line to this thing. Oh yeah. All right. How about get that power hooked up first? All right. I need a corner. All right, how about this? Give me a junction. Come on. Give me some straight. I'm trying to get this around here and hook it up to that. Yeah, like that. And then get it around this corner. Yeah, there we go. A little goofy looking, but it works. That's really all I care about.
Jetpack on.
Oh. Yeah. I am actually carrying a secondary battery. How about that? All right. Now, all I need to do is run the piping from here over here to the input line and turn this circuit on. And I will get this piping hooked up, but you can see how much fun this can be. So I'll work on that and I'll be back. All right, got everything and a couple of things more hooked up outside. So that's all good. Now here in the room we have CO2 82%, O2 17%. Theoretically, I could even breathe that much oxygen at that pressure. It's enough to breathe. Although with 82% CO2, I don't think that would in real life be a great idea. Yeah, but there is a little bit of nitrogen and a microscopic amount of X in there, and that's what the whole idea is of this rest of this here, is to get that stuff out of there and get the oxygen out of there, for that matter, because that room doesn't need it. It produces it, which is good. Now we'll just wait for this thing to finish evacuating. Okay, now if I hop up here and get past the stutter to turn that on. Now in the pipe, pretty much the same mix that's in the room. And of course, this thing is feeding it in. Okay, that's the room side. That's the... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's no CO2 in there. Well, we'll have to fix that. First, hello, quit with the stutters. Turn the filters on. Open that valve. And the rejected room air pulled out by the back pressure regulator goes into the filters. And we're collecting pure CO2. If I go back in there, then what I should see, as soon as I actually get all the way in, is the air mix in the room becoming more and more just pure CO2. Probably will take a little while. There's 55 moles of O2, 266 of CO2, 0.5 of X, and 2 of nitrogen. Okay. So I figure that will probably take a little while to have something go on, deal with it. The pressure is steady. The temperature is in an acceptable range. And with it only coming on when it hits 30, the cooler doesn't have to run too awfully much. With no plants in here every 2 or 3 days, because yes, we get some heat buildup from greenhouse effect on the glass, but that's not really major. All right. Well, I guess it's going to take some time for that mess to, for this system to get the air in this room filtered out. Hello. So another thing I was doing is I set this up. Tank filling stations. Oh, with the stutteries. And that reminds me, I need to go around here to get a tank. The water tank, which is down to 9 kPa. Hello, stutter. Alright, so we pop that there. And in here, there's plenty of water in there, so turn the valve on. And with that regulator, which I need to turn on, hello, that should give me 9,500 kPa in this tank, at least as far as that has the capability to do that much. Oh, this stuttering lag crap, it's amazing. Literally every 3 or 4 seconds. And okay, that one, turn that on. Hello, stutter. Open that valve, and we'll have 9,500 kPa of oxygen going in there. That way, my suit tank is now super easy to refill. Okay. Plenty of water heading in there. How much is in the CO2 line? About 20 moles. That's at 50-something%. That's at 100%. All right. Well, I've got another CO2 filter over here, so I think... Hello, stutter. I do hope they get that sorted out sometime reasonably soonish. All right, 2 filters in the CO2. Because it's gonna... It's going to definitely need CO2 filters more often than anything else. All right. Now, input pipe. How much is in that? 34 pascals. In the room, 2.7 kilopascal. In the, just out in the air. Okay. And with that, I should be able, yeah, by the regulator, the room side of the pressure regulator, I can see what the mix is, percentage-wise. Seems to be taking rather a while, but I suppose it's not a surprise. Now, if I turn that off, turn that on, we're drawing air from outside. Into the filter system. Which will stock up on CO2, N2, and X. Oh, come on. Oh, God, the stuttering is amazing. Okay, I am going to turn that one off, close that, and I'm going to go ahead and put this water tank back over here. It just needs to have water in there for the hydroponics, which, as I understand it, it does actually use that over time. And that's a whole lot more than it had, so that's great. Both batteries are full. Excellent. Which means I should have no problem leaving this filter system turned on, which will continue to collect O2. All right, great. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Leaving the system pretty much like this and let it run and see how long it takes for the O2 level inside that room to drop. Okay, this is making some progress, but it's really slow going. So I've decided I'm going to change things up a bit.
Light on.
Oh, the stuttering every few seconds is really infuriating. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a little bit. The pressure regulator that feeds CO2 into the room. I'm going to start by turning that off. Hello, yeah. Okay. Then
Jetpack on.
I'm going over here to the back pressure regulator, if I can get to it. And I'm going to set that to 0. And I'm going to let it go ahead and evacuate the room. And I can read that from this pipe right there. And when the pressure gets down to 0, then I can set this back to 98, 99, something like that, and then turn this one back on, which will feed pure CO2 back in. And I'm thinking that once it's got a pure CO2 atmosphere in there, then it should just be a matter of this thing keeping it that way, to have the back pressure set something like, okay, pressure is set to 99, to like 100, yeah. So if I set this to 98 or 99, that should provide enough flow of air in there, out here, to keep the atmosphere being cycled through the filter mechanisms. And I think that should take care of that. So, down to 56, down to 55. Shouldn't take too awfully long. So once it reaches 0, then like I said, I'll set this one back to 98 and then turn the other one back on to feed pure CO2 in. And that should take care of it, getting it to a good level. And once it has gotten there, it should be a simple matter to keep it there. All right, I think it's safe to say that the room down below is effectively in a vacuum. I mean, there is 0.001 millimole of CO2 in there. The pressure overall at 0.5 CPA, centipascals, I believe, you know, really tiny amount. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this thing, increase it to 100, and then go over here and hit C and decrease it back to, say, 97. Yeah, that'll work. Now, over here, make sure that is set to 100, and as soon as it stops lagging,
Light on.
turn it on. And pure CO2 being fed in, and there is plenty of it available. Oh, okay. So now, while I'm out here, I'm going to go ahead and grab a fresh battery because, yeah. Hello. All right. Now, and another thing I did, let's see, cancel pressurize, is these pipes here, they hold the air that is sucked out of the airlock through the active vent, and they act like basically a tank. And since the pipes have got a 60 MPa capacity, it take quite a bit to make them burst. And what I did was I went ahead and broke each pipe section and rebuilt it, because when you break it, that basically resets what's in it down to nothing. Now, there is a little bit of X and N2 and O2, but it's because of fractional amounts that came in when I cycled the airlock. And gradually, slowly, the pressure will now go back up to the 100 kPa and so on that I wanted at.
Light off.
It will no doubt take a while, but that's all right. And presumably, once I get to growing plants in here again, I'm hoping that I can work out a setting for the back pressure regulator that will have a flow going from the input to the output fast enough to filter out the oxygen at a rate that will prevent an unfortunate buildup. Because you don't need to be able to breathe in here. We have the suit, and so on. And so the oxygen produced by the plants needs to go over there in the big tank. So I'm going to wait and let this sucker get filled back up. Alrighty, everything's working good, and I think I'm on the road to having it work exactly the way I want it to. What I want to do now, as far as this room is concerned, first up, in terms of plant automation, by the way, I got rid of that temporary portable thing and put in 4 more hydroponics trays here. So I've got a dozen of them running and planted right now. And they will be able to run. They keep the heating the place is not necessary very much. I mean, it's not a problem. I've got a heater in here. I only used that to bring the temperature up to high enough level where I could plant something when I realized that it would take greenhouse effect through the glass like another week to do that, and I wasn't going to wait for that long. Well, what I want to figure out now, all right, given an input rate at the pressure regulator, say for example, if I were to set the pressure regulator to 103 kPa, what do I have to set the back pressure regulator to in order to maintain the pressure in this room at 101? Or, you know, within plus or minus 1 degree of 101. The idea is, will that be sufficient gas flow between the input and the output to keep the O2 percentage down, say, below 5%? With all the rest of the O2 going out that way and ending up in the filter mechanism to get filtered into the tanks. So that's what I want to figure out there. Meanwhile, what I have to do between now and next episode is I need to do a lot of mining. At least now I'll be able to do so while having plants active in here, so that I won't have to be concerned about running out of food or anything like that. And, you know, the idea of having to babysit the plants and whatnot because there was no automatic temperature control, don't have to do that anymore. All right. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.